is Olivier Josem. I'm working to Tavon Holdings, which is a French and Swiss company working for watchmaker. In my new position, I have more plans to manage, more facilities. Before I was just general manager for one company, and now I have to manage 6. And they are locating worldwide. For me, and the biggest problem for my boss is that it looks as if it's very easy for me to understand the problem and to find some solution, but it's not so quick for the others. So I have to keep this in mind and to manage this, because for me, I'm very impatient guy, and so I have to move forward very quickly. And it's not easy when people have not understood what was the problem and how we will manage the solutions. And sometimes the relationship with those key people were difficult, and it was very important for the general manager of the company that the relationship between all the key people in his team is very good. And that's the reason why he said that it's very important to have a clever guy in the team, but they have to work together. A lot of time change position, you can manage more people, more business. You're always thinking that you are a clever guy and you don't have to improve anything, because you have proved to everyone that you are able to manage a company, to improve their business, but it's not enough. You are working with people, and it's very important that to understand that you are moving faster with the others. I had a bad experience with a coach. It was, I think, 10 years ago, and we spent I think 1 or 2 hours to discuss with Katrina before starting the coaching process, and I have discussed with other coaches too, just to decide who will I choose to work with, because it was very important for me, and that's the reason why I decided to work with Katrina, because the roadmap she proposed to me was very clear for me. And the biggest problem for me, the first time I have to make some sessions with a coach, is that the guy is always coming into the meeting with toolbox and said, okay, you have this problem, use this tool. You have this problem, use this tool. Okay, it's very easy to say, but not easy to input and to implement into your life and your job every day. So, and Katrina was listening to me and explaining me how I can improve some way of managing the relationship between my peers, how I have to communicate sometimes, and it was very benefit for me. And I think, I was not, I don't know why, but I think I was not aware about those weak points before. Or I didn't hear people who talk with me about those weak points before. And I think with Katrina it was more easy for me to accept and to hear about those weak points, and to accept that I have to solve some of them. And she worked with me to make me understand how my mind was working. So that was the first step. And then when it was clear for me how my mind was working, it was easier for me to understand how I have to work with my colleagues and how I can improve my leadership. I think one very important point for me is that Katrina is listening to the person she's coaching. And it is very important, because most of the coaches I've met in my career, they are explaining you how you have to be or how you have to work, but they don't listen to you. And what was very important with Katrina, the first time we met each other, she spent, I think, 50 minutes just to hear what I have to explain to her. And how I saw the problem, I discussed with my manager, and I think it's very important for a coach. You cannot do a very good coaching if you don't listen to the people you have in front of you. And it's the same as manager when you are working with the people. If you don't listen to the people and don't hear their problem, it's very difficult. Be sure that they will come with you and they will follow you through the project you have to manage. The breakthrough is most important breakthrough was to well understand what was my way of thinking and solving problems, and why it was different to lots of other people I'm working with. I think I will change the way of managing all my team, and I think we will. It will be. I don't think it will be better for the company, but I think we will manage our tough business in a more pleasant way. I think, and it's very important because we are working hard. We spend a lot of time at work, and we always manage correctly our business and our projects. But I think it's very important to manage them in a correct way, but also in a good relation with all the team.